right, YouTube, how's it going? This is Dave. We're back. I got a little bit of a two-parter here of topics. One of them is going to be talking about the truck and called the almost 20,000 mile review. And then the other one's going to be these guys back there, these Mickey Thompsons. They are significantly larger than what I originally had on there. If you recall, the SS, before I did the rolling and the suspension and a little bit of pulling and all that good stuff, I had some M&H Race Masters that actually served me pretty well, but they were starting to get a little tired. And they, you know, these bad boys are 305, 45, 17s. And I had to pull the fenders and roll them. But the original M&H Race Masters, which I really loved, were 275, 50, 17s. You know, I haven't had this guy out since the autocross a couple weeks ago, which I hope you guys enjoyed that. I was very happy, even though, you know, I messed up on the last run, did a crappy run the first run, but I haven't washed her or anything. I had plans to go to ACO tonight. It's beautiful out here, but when I get her cleaned up, I got to check to see if it's mounted, and the battery may be dead, because if you leave it for 2 weeks, I went on vacation, so there's a good chance this won't start, but we'll see. Regardless, I'm going to try to sneak it there this weekend. But we want to get these guys on the car, set her down, see how it goes. If that's good, then I'll probably drive it there, but I still am a little leery about taking the car without the trailer. But anyhow, I wanted to go do, like I said, a 20,000 mile review of this truck. And, you know, I appreciate all the comments and feedback that I'm getting on her. You know, like I said, I am a huge fan of this truck. And granted, it's, you know, it's an elevation edition, so it's not the base truck, but it's also not like the $60,000, $70,000 truck. And right now, if you guys are in the market looking for a truck, you know that, you know, between a few months ago and now, prices have been just astronomical, bordering on stupid. But I was very lucky. I got this in February when the prices were still very reasonable, and I just happened to, I got lucky going down to get this. It's about half-hour south of here. Found this in a lot, and it had everything I needed and nothing I didn't. You know, cloth interior, like I said. You know, Duramax with the 10-speed. I apologize, you can see bugs all over the place because it's still a little humid, even though the temperature is awesome. But, you know, overall, still madly in love with this truck. I have zero complaints, really. There's only, like, really one thing that's annoying, but, like, I can easily overlook it. But, you know, talking with, you know, I don't know if I ever told you how much I paid for this, but this was about $42,000 truck when I got it. You know, I'm not going to tell you what I got it out the door because I got a good deal, but it was about $42,000. I think it was like 48 with some incentives and my GM discount that I get, so like supplier pricing and stuff for my work. It was about $42,000 truck, and I had a very good salesperson who helped me out. So I got even more off of it. So I really lucked out on this, but this is like a dream truck if I've mentioned it before. You know, just kind of going over some specifics on it. Crew cab, short bed, absolutely wanted that. Wanted the longer wheel. I wanted the longer cab section because it's insane, because I can easily sit back there, and I'm 6 foot tall and a big boy. Like I mentioned before, the Duramax 10-speed and then the integrated brake controller were really the only things that I wanted. But because you get the Duramax, it automatically adds some additional, like, convenience stuff on the truck, and one of those is, you know, the rear sliding window, which, you know, is awesome. I almost never use it. And then heated seats and a heated steering wheel. So go figure. You know, it's awesome in the winter. Obviously don't use it, but it's cloth seats too, so it's easy to clean, and I've had to do it a few times. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up, you know, a lot of folks have brought up in the comment sections of my various truck videos, the no start problem. I haven't had it. I'm at like 19,001 or 200 miles, something like that on it. I haven't had a single issue with that. Some of the quote-unquote injector knock that I thought I was having was definitely not that. That was just my stupidity and not really realizing what a truck that has all of this noise cancellation on it sounds like when it's in regen. When you have a much larger, when you have a, like, you know, a 2500 series or something that's deleted that doesn't have all this crap on it, it sounds like a normal diesel. You know, hearing regen and hearing it normally doesn't sound much different. With this starts to sound like a normal truck when it's in regen, and I just didn't really appreciate how quiet this thing is normally. So when I'm pulling up, or when it's just, you don't even know it's a diesel until you really try to listen, or you smell the tailpipe. But anyhow, impressions, still love it. Towing, you know, like I had said, I've got this guy right here. You've seen it in a few videos. I've done a little bit on it. Sorry for the trash can in the bottom view here. But the car trailer is like 2,400 pounds, 22 to 2,400. And then, you know, the SS is, I want to say the SS is about, I think it's 4,200 pounds. So like I'm hovering between 65 and 7,000 pounds on the trailer. And I've towed anywhere between, it's been somewhere like, you know, 60 on the low end one way to about like 120 on the high end. And I'm still getting 17 to 18 and a half on the one ride, the shorter one, because it was really nice and flat. And I was going 65, 70 miles an hour with it towing. I have no reason to go much further. A few times I may have gotten over that, but we're not going to talk about that. But, you know, I've been extremely happy. And then, like I told you, I am what I would call the ideal diesel truck driver. You know, I get out on the highway when I'm driving down to Baltimore for my work, and I just, a lot of times, set this cruise control. So I'll set the cruise control at like 70 and just hang out. And I'll get easily 28 to 30 miles per gallon on it routinely. And I know I've seen people really complain on the forum, or I'm sorry, on like Facebook and stuff like that, about like how it's impossible, you're doing that BS stuff. I am easily, and I don't even have to think about hand calculations or anything like that. I am getting close to routinely like 650 miles per tank, and that's because I do several days a week around town, and it doesn't do as well. It'll get like 22-ish to 24-ish miles per gallon around town, but even my in-town driving is still some like relatively smaller highways, so it's really, I'm not sitting at lights ever, so it's pretty, and my commute locally, when I'm working locally, is like 7 miles, so it's really straightforward. So I cannot complain about this truck. I am extremely happy with it. And I had mentioned before, like, there's only like one thing that I can really complain about, and it's weird because it's not a normal thing. Like when I'm towing, I'm not getting the Roadmaster suspension. Don't need it. Like I figured out where I need to load it on the tongue to have it nice and flat. And I'm not getting any of that bucking that I had mentioned in one of my other videos, because that was just stupidity. It was user error. It was my fault. So once I load it a little bit more on the tongue, I know exactly where I got to drop the car when I'm pulling it up. I'm good. The thing trailers beautifully. I don't have the racking anymore. It brakes fantastically. I'm good. Like, so I'm not doing anything else. I'm not changing the air filter. I had a couple questions about that. You know, would I be interested in getting some of those aftermarket air filters so I could hear the stuff? Actually, I like it quiet. It's grown on me to the point where it's just a nice truck. And you know, we saw like the debut of the new Silverado, like GM interior. It's cool. But I like the stalk, or you know, the column shift, because I really love the huge console. I use this truck a lot for work, and you know, let me come around here so you're not just staring at my dumb face the whole time. And it's dirty because I use this truck. So like this, you know, this console in here, you can see I've got this, you know, a hand sanitizer crap in here from some of the stuff. I don't necessarily use it the way I'm supposed to use it, but I used to also clean some stuff, so don't worry about that. But you know, I love the huge console in here. I love the space in there. I can put my laptop up there. I can take calls for work. I don't have a problem. People are like, oh, this interior's old. I'm not one of those dudes who cares about that stuff. So for me, this truck has been perfect. Depth usage. Like I said, I'm somewhere in the I'm between 19,000 and 20,000 miles on this truck. And I want to say that I may have filled it with one of the boxes, like the 2.5 gallon boxes, 7 or 8 times, maybe. I think that might be a lot. I might be a little high, because I remember the 2 I had here. I bought one recently. I bought a couple from, yeah, so I had bought a couple from, damn, was it AutoZone or something like that? Those guys in, and then I maybe did it one other time. So maybe I'm closer to 5 or 6, but like that's all I've used in 20,000 miles. When I'm towing, I didn't have a problem with it, so I'm not sure why people think this thing consumes a huge amount of depth, because it really hasn't. Okay, so I had mentioned before, like one of the things that I didn't like about this truck, and it's probably the only thing at this point that really annoys me. Doesn't happen often, so I can easily overlook it. But like if you're sitting at a light and you're crossing over a highway to turn like left, usually it's only left, and you're going over, and say there's some broken pavement while you're trying to get up to speed. If you hit that at a certain angle, sometimes the back end bounces a lot, and that's probably evidence of they've softened the suspension up a little bit for ride quality. But like it'll kick the back end out like a foot, or like I've seen it a lot when I'm driving to work, and you're approaching like an on-ramp, but like just before it there was like a set of railroad tracks, and obviously the tracks are sunken in, and you have like a railroad crossing that's supposed to be level with the pavement. If you hit that, it'll sometimes bounce the truck, not uncontrollably, but enough that it's somewhat jarring when it does. You're like, holy crap. So that I hate. I don't know why it does it. Never does it while it's towing. A little frustrating that it does that, because I've never had a truck that really has ever done that. But I guess it's because of the suspension softening up so much. But it's not to the point where obviously I would ever want to sell the thing. But I don't have the special tailgate or any of that. The other thing is kind of stupid is like why I didn't get a sprayed in bed liner. But that's not, I don't know if that's necessarily like GM's fault, but like for whatever reason, all the other trucks had it and this particular one didn't. But other than that, in the normal wear and tear and scratches, I have very minimal complaints on that. The back end kicking out isn't the end of the world for me. It's just you got to be careful and not drive like a moron. But yeah, guys, like keep the questions coming. I appreciate you guys watching on this. Let's get to getting those tires mounted, because I want to see if we can make it to the track this weekend. All right, stay tuned. Alrighty, folks, so mounted, yes. Will they fit? Jury is still out. Very dirty, but I am definitely not sold yet whether or not these guys are going to fit. So I'm rolled and pulled. Let's get a little bit of that. Breathe deeply. Smell that. God, look at how dirty she is. So dirty. But yeah, see, here's a really good example, like what I'm talking about. I may pass out, so, but like you can kind of see, you kind of like look down on the fender, right on the quarter, like, oh, wowie, wowie. I don't know, guys. I do not know. I may be going back to, we'll see. See, I don't know, was that a rub, or what was that? I may do a couple little shots in the driveway here to see what it does. Yeah, I got my fronts on. It's like super dirty. Still sounds good though. But yeah, I don't know about that. All right, so here you go. I was able to do my test without damaging anything, but yes, 100% rubbage. You can see it right here. It's rubbing on, I could feel it on the inside of the fender, but she is 100% rubbing. So that is a no. That is a no-go. These guys, I mean, it's tight here because my driveway kind of pops up a little bit here, but that's a bummer. That's a real bummer. But that's that. Okay, so I'm not going to waste my time with that. People are going to tell me that I'm nuts. I should use those tires, just roll the fenders more. I'm not interested in doing that. I don't have cracked paint. I'll go back to the M&H Race Masters. I was very happy with them. The ET Street R's are awesome tires. Zero complaints on them. I'm just not going to rub this far enough. I really wish that Mickey Thompson kept the 295s. I think they were 295s, 45-17s or something like that. It was a 27-inch tall slick. Would have been perfectly matched for those guys, but that's enough for me. So there you have it. Does not fit on this car, even with it rolled and pulled slightly. It fixed the problem with the RE71Rs, especially coming out of the driveway on a really aggressive angle, so I can get out of the driveway, but that's that. These are coming off. They're going up for sale. We're getting the 275s on, we're going back to the 275s M&Hs. Okay, guys, so there you go. There you have it. We covered a lot of ground today. Thanks for watching, and we'll definitely see you next time. Take care. Bye.